color on them. They're beautiful apples. But I got bad news for you. Not all apples are beautiful. Some apples aren't shiny. The ones that come off my tree, they're not shiny. And they're not perfectly round. Let me show you an apple that I picked yesterday off my tree. Is that perfectly round or is it a little bit lopsided? Oh yeah, it's lopsided. Does it taste good? Oh yeah, I don't care what it looks like. I love apples. Okay, let's wave. All right, no more waving, that's enough. Now you're supposed to look at me. I'm going to show you the world's ugliest apple. Because I'm trying to grow the world's ugliest apple at my house. I want to win the contest. Would you like to see the world? Because you won't find this in the grocery store. This is a book about apples. This is a book about apples. And in here is the ugliest apple in the world. And I have one tree that I'm trying to grow, the ugliest apple in the world. And it'll never be in the grocery store because nobody would buy it. Would you like to see the picture of the world's ugliest apple? Say yes. Would your mother buy that? No! Would you buy that? No! Would you buy that? No! Would you buy that? Why do I want to grow this apple? Not only is it ugly, it's going to win the contest, but what? It's different from all the other apples. I want to be different. You can go to the grocery store and buy apples. I want to go to the grocery store and buy this ugly apple off my tree. Now, why do you think I want to have this tree growing in my yard? Why? Yes, there's another reason. Why do I want this tree? Why do I want this tree? I want to know if it really tastes like this book says. Would you like me to read this paragraph to you? Say yes. I'm going to read this to you and you'll know why. This very ugly apple tastes just like vanilla ice cream mixed with a Snicker bar. Now, do you believe that? I like this group. Good group. Good group of people. They're gullible. I mean, they like to listen. Next time you go to the store, look at the apple, see if they're round and shiny and pretty. And remember what variety it is, because every variety tastes a little different. I want you to start eating apples instead of Pepsi. You understand that? Yes. Next time I come here, I'll tell your teacher that if it tastes really like vanilla. Because I'm going to get an apple this year. I've never tasted that apple. One more question, then I got to go. The bell's going to ring. Yes.
I know how to get it ugly.
You do?
Hot.
Let me tell you a story now. I'm going to tell you about grafting, because that's the name of this program is grafting. If I want to have a tree in my yard, and I want the ugly apple tree in my yard, and I know Patty has one in her yard. Patty's my assistant back there with a blue hat on. Turn around and say, hi, Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Patty has this apple in her backyard, and I want it in my yard. She could give me some seeds. I don't plant seeds. When you plant seeds with this apple, it doesn't turn out to be exactly like the mother plant. I want an exact duplicate of that ugly plant. So the only way I can make an exact one is not to plant the seed, but to graft it. So grafting is like magic. Grafting is like taking my thumb and putting it on your thumb and having me turn out to look like this guy. We don't do that with people, but we do it with apples. So I'm going to show you now how to graft and make a perfect tree from Patty's tree. So here's what we do. It's a little bit like magic. The first thing we do is we take an apple that was grown in the ground, a little tiny tree that has a good root on it. This is a semi-dwarf root. Remember that. Semi-dwarf. It's on the test. It's going to make a tree that's not going to be a big tree, it'll be always semi-dwarf. And I'm going to take this part of the tree and cut it off. Because I don't want this tree to turn into an apple tree. This is not the one I want. I want one from Patty's house. So I'm going to go over to Patty's house in January when her tree is dormant, and I'm going to knock on the door and say, Patty, do you have an apple tree in your backyard?
I certainly do, Joe.
Is it the ugly one? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's pretend Patty has that ugly tree in her backyard. I'm going to go over to her house, and I'm going to prune this off, and I'm going to run over to my house, put it on top of here, and it's going to grow.
No, that's not good.
Watch carefully. Watch carefully. Watch Carefully, this is called grafting. Say grafting. We take a little tiny piece of Patty's tree, and we go over here and put it on top of here, and it grows. It really and truly grows. Here's how you do it. You take a very sharp knife, and you split this root. This is called a root. We call it the root because it's not going to be a tree. It's going to be always going to be the root. So we split that tree down there just about that deep. Then we take that knife out and we put this down in that crack. But I got to sharpen it a little bit first. So what I do is I take my sharp knife and I sharpen it just a little bit so that it looks like this. It's very sharp this way. It's going to fit inside that root. So very carefully and quickly, I'm going to put it inside here so that it fits perfectly and it grows together. And what I'm doing now is I'm lining up what's called the cambium, which is a magic tissue in there that makes the tree grow together. Cambium is magic. Say that. Cambium is magic. Oh, I like this class. Cambium is a magic tissue that's going to grow together and heal, just like a scar. Just like if I cut myself, I push the skin back together, it grows back together again. I cut this, I push it back together again, it's going to grow. It doesn't know that I put Patty's limb on top of this root. But I have to put a Band-Aid on it, and we have green Band-Aids today. We have green Band-Aids. I'm going to wrap it really tight so it won't know that we grafted it. So I'm going to wrap it really tight, just like that. Really tight. Tie a knot in it. And then I'm going to count the buds. Buds are the little tiny things that are going to make the tree grow, and I only want 2 buds on there, so 1, 2. Now there's a wound there where I cut it, so I'm going to take a little bit of special stuff called, say goop. Goop is black magic.
Nice mud.
It's really not magic.
It's mud.
It's black mud. It's black mud. Do you know what this stuff tastes like?
Yeah.
Do you know what it tastes like? Say
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Because we don't eat it. It's a joke. What we do is we take this goop and we put the goop everywhere where we hurt the tree. This is like neosporum for trees. I put a little bit of that goop all the way around where it was cut, even a little bit on the very tip top. Now that tree is ready to go. I got to put one more thing on it. And it's a label, and I guess I didn't put the labels out. Hang on a minute. And what we're going to do is put a label on here because sometimes when we graft, we put different things on different trees. Pink lady. What is pink lady? It's the name of an apple. I'm going to put the label on here just like that. Then I'm going to water the tree. I'm going to get out of the way. And those 2 buds are going to grow. They're going to grow, and they're going to grow, and they're going to grow. And 1 year later, the tree will look just like this. There's the graft.